Number 1. The 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial Washington Quarter. The 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial Washington Quarter is a coin that many people are familiar with. In fact, it's a coin that you've probably seen countless times throughout your life. But what if I told you that a small percentage of these seemingly ordinary coins could actually be worth a shocking amount of money? While most of these coins may just be sitting in your jar of loose change or buried in the back of your drawer, there are rare varieties and minting errors that could make these coins worth far more than you might expect. Some of these rare quarters could even be worth millions of dollars in the future. How would you know if you're holding a life-changing treasure? Keep reading, because I'm about to reveal exactly what makes certain bicentennial Washington quarters incredibly valuable. I'll be going over the secret details that expert collectors are looking for, as well as how you can check your own pocket change for a hidden fortune. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Let's begin by understanding the basics. The bicentennial quarter was minted to mark the 200th anniversary of the United States, which automatically makes it a historic coin. But unlike the regular Washington quarters you might be familiar with, the bicentennial edition features a special reverse design. On the back, you'll find a colonial drummer, a torch, and the dual dates 1776 and 1976. While this alone sets it apart from other quarters, not all of these coins are created equal. Some contain ultra-rare minting errors, special varieties, or even precious metals that can cause their value to soar into the stratosphere. So, what should you be on the lookout for? First things first, check the edge of your quarter. Most of the bicentennial quarters were struck from cupronickel, a blend of copper and nickel, but a small number were made using 40% silver. These silver quarters were part of special mint sets that were never meant for circulation, which makes them extraordinarily rare to find in your pocket change. If you happen to find a quarter with a solid silver edge, no copper stripe in sight, you may have found yourself a very valuable coin. But that's not where the excitement ends. Minting errors are another crucial factor in determining the value of your bicentennial quarter. Minting errors can occur during the production process, and these mistakes often turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. One of the most valuable errors to look out for is the double die obverse. This occurs when Washington's face or the lettering appears doubled due to a mistake during the striking process. Another high-value error is an off-center strike, where the design is misaligned, leaving part of the coin blank. Even slight imperfections in the details, like missing or weak drum lines on the reverse side, can drastically increase the value of a coin. Now, let's talk about condition, because that's another major factor that influences the value of these quarters. If your bicentennial quarter is graded MS67 or higher, meaning it has little to no wear and is in near-perfect condition, its value can be substantial. In fact, high-grade specimens of these coins have sold for as much as $80,000 to $100,000 at auction, which is absolutely mind-blowing for a coin that was minted just to celebrate America's bicentennial. But here's the most amazing part: experts believe that as time passes, these rare bicentennial quarters will continue to grow in value. Some are predicting that certain ultra-rare varieties could one day be worth millions of dollars. Imagine holding a simple quarter in your hand today, only to discover that it could change your life financially in the future. The thought of it is truly staggering. So, now I'm asking you, have you ever found a bicentennial quarter that looked different from the others? Maybe one that had an unusual error, an odd color, or was in nearly perfect condition. If you've ever stumbled upon something like this, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to stay informed about rare coins like this that could be hiding in plain sight, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I'll be revealing more rare and valuable coins that could be right under your nose. So, go ahead and check your pocket change. You never know, the next coin you find could be worth a fortune. Number 2, could you be holding $1 million 1971 quarter without even knowing it? Imagine this: you're at home, sifting through a jar of coins, maybe it's leftover change from a trip or quarters you've gathered over the years. You come across a 1971 Washington quarter. At first glance, it looks just like any other quarter you've come across before. But what if I told you that some of these 1971 quarters are hiding a shocking secret, one that could make you incredibly wealthy? Believe it or not, certain 1971 quarters have sold for extraordinary amounts at auction. And even more exciting, experts predict that the value of these rare coins may continue to increase, possibly reaching millions of dollars in the future. So, why are some 1971 quarters so special? What makes them stand out from the rest? Let's explore. In 1971, the U.S. Mint produced millions of Washington quarters. Most of these coins were struck on standard copper-nickel planchets. However, due to a rare minting error, some were accidentally struck on leftover 40% silver planchets from previous years. These silver 1971 quarters are exceptionally rare, and they are worth a small fortune if you're lucky enough to find one. How can you tell if your 1971 quarter is made of silver? It's easy, simply check the edge. If the edge has a copper-colored stripe, it's a regular coin. But if the edge is solid silver with no copper visible, then you're likely holding a very valuable coin. But it's not just the silver content that makes these coins valuable. Some 1971 quarters also feature major minting errors that increase their worth. One of the most famous errors is the double die obverse, where Washington's portrait or the lettering appears doubled, a result of a minting mistake. Many casual collectors miss this error, but if you're observant enough to spot it, you could be in for a windfall. Other valuable errors include off-center strikes, where the design is shifted to one side, and broad-struck errors, where the coin's rim is missing and the design appears stretched. Condition is also a crucial factor when determining the value of any coin. A 1971 quarter graded MS67 or higher, which means it's in near-perfect condition with minimal wear, can command top dollar at auction. In fact, some high-grade specimens have already sold for between $98,000 and $150,000. Experts believe these values will only continue to rise. Here's where it gets even more exciting. Some experts predict that the value of these rare 1971 quarters could eventually reach millions of dollars. What might seem like an ordinary quarter today could turn out to be a goldmine in the future. That's why it's essential not to overlook your change and to keep an eye out for those rare details. So, have you ever found a 1971 quarter that looked a little different? Maybe it had an unusual shine, a misaligned design, or a missing rim. If you have, you could be holding a hidden treasure. Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another rare coin discovery. You could be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. Go ahead and check your coins, you never know what you could be holding. Number 3, the 1967 quarter that could make you rich, the secret coin you must look for. Now, picture this. You're sifting through an old jar of coins, maybe some spare change or old coins you've been holding onto for years, and you come across a 1967 Washington quarter. It looks just like any other coin you've used countless times before. But what if I told you that one tiny mistake, one slight difference, could turn that simple quarter into a life-changing fortune? Yes, some 1967 quarters have sold for unbelievable amounts of money at auction, and the crazy part? Most people have no idea what to look for, which means there could be hidden treasures just waiting to be discovered, possibly even in your own collection. So, what makes a 1967 quarter so valuable? Why are some worth thousands of dollars while others are practically worthless? Let's take a closer look at one of the rarest and most valuable quarters in U.S. history. The 1967 quarter's hidden secret. 1967 was a pivotal year in U.S. coinage. In previous years, quarters were made of 90% silver, but in 1965, the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-nickel blend because the price of silver had skyrocketed. However, a few rare 1967 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver planchets from earlier years, and these silver quarters are worth a fortune today. How to identify a silver 1967 quarter. So, how do you know if you have one of these legendary coins in your possession? Here are a few ways to identify a silver 1967 quarter. Edge test. Take a look at the edge of the coin. If it has a solid silver color with no copper stripe, it's likely one of the rare silver coins. If the edge is copper colored, it's a regular quarter. Weight test. A regular 1967 quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, but a silver quarter weighs 6.25 grams. If you happen to have a small digital scale, weigh the coin. If it's heavier than usual, it could be a rare silver quarter. Sound test. Silver coins make a higher pitched ringing sound when dropped, while copper-nickel quarters tend to make a dull thud. Drop it and listen for the difference. But it's not just the silver content that makes the 1967 quarter valuable. Minting errors are another factor that can drive up the price of these coins. The most valuable 1967 quarter errors and varieties. Some of the rarest and most sought-after varieties include double die quarters. Some 1967 quarters show doubling in the lettering or Washington's portrait. These coins can fetch thousands of dollars. Off-center strikes, misaligned designs, where part of the coin is left blank, make for a rare and valuable error. Wrong planchet errors. Some 1967 quarters were mistakenly struck on foreign coin planchets, and these errors can be extremely rare and valuable. How much are these rare 1967 quarters worth? A rare 1967 silver quarter has been sold for as much as $77,000 at auction. Other rare era varieties have been sold for as high as $68,000, and as time goes on, these coins are becoming harder to find. Their value is likely to increase as collectors continue to search for these elusive treasures. Do you have one of these rare quarters? Take a moment to look through your pocket change, old collections, or rolls of quarters you've been saving for years. You could be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Have you ever found a 1967 quarter that felt heavier or had a shinier finish? Maybe it had a unique edge or some unusual markings. Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another rare coin discovery that could change your life. Go check your quarters, you might just find a hidden jackpot.